Let's take a look at how we can create a custom material library to use materials between different projects. If we go to the Manage tab and click on the Materials command, in the lower left, here we can expand the material libraries. By default, this is the materials that come with Revit, but we have the option to create a new material library. We can pick a location for the material library. We'll give it a name. And now we have a new material library that we can simply drag and drop materials into. So we can select this material library. Of course, it's empty because we just created it. If we go down to the materials that we created in this project, carpet 1, 2, 3, 4, we can simply drag and drop those materials into our custom material library. You'll notice the appearance asset have specific textures associated with them. We click on the texture and you can see there's a specific size assigned to it. Ceramic tile options. We'll just do a few of those as an example. Click OK. Now, if we were to start a brand new project, go to the Manage tab, Material Library, and select My Materials. We can add that material to our project with all the customized settings associated with it, even information from the Identity tab. So that's a really quick and easy way to share materials between projects. Another thing to keep in mind is how materials are managed in a family and then what happens when they're loaded into a project. So if we had a family that needed to use this CPT1, we could simply load it from the library. Let's take a quick look at creating a family. We'll just make a really simple box extrusion. It'll be 1 foot high. We'll look at this in 3D. Close all these other views that just got created, or I should say opened. When we select this box, the material by default is by category. We'll go ahead and change this. We could load a material from our material library into this family. But another thing we could do, just to have a better understanding of how materials work and how they're loaded into a project, is if we just create a new empty material. Down in the lower left, we can click Create New Material, right-click, Rename, and we'll just call that CPT1. We actually don't have to change anything about its properties. Now when we load this family1 family into the project, we'll just load it into this project 1 that we just created. And then we'll look at this in 3D in realistic mode, and you can see it has all the properties associated with CPT1 as defined in the project, not the family. So if we were to go ahead and close this family and not save it, and then edit this family from within the project, go to the Manage tab, Manage Materials, and here's the fully defined CPT1. One more thing about creating materials: if you're creating a brand new material from scratch and you want to use one of the new advanced materials, on the Appearance tab, we can select Replace this asset. Under the Appearance library, miscellaneous, we have the base materials subfolder. These are the 5 different ways in which you can start an advanced material. Each of these have a fundamentally different purpose, therefore their properties are different. There's one for glazing, one for a layered material, so there's a top layer which is a base coat, and then a sub-layer, sort of like paint on a car. There's a metal material, an opaque, which is most materials, and then there's a transparent material. So these 5 fundamental materials allow you to create all advanced or PBR based materials in Revit. We simply double click to load that appearance asset into the material. So you can see the options for metal. If I double click on opaque, you can see the options. There's emissivity to make it basically self-illuminate. There's an option for transparent, which is different than glazing. Notice glazing has a visible transmittance value. This is an important value in architectural glazing. And then we'll look at layered. So here's the base coat and the top coat, and then finally the opaque option, which maybe I just already showed. But anyways, that's a really quick look at some tips to get the most out of managing materials in Revit, and so that they can be used optimally in Enscape.